Hello everyone, my name is Akashdeep Singh and today I will be speaking about homelessness in Vancouver, particularly how it's closely tied to the opioid crisis and why a shift towards long-term human-centered strategies like the housing first model is essential to make lasting change. Homelessness in Vancouver has been more than a housing issue. It's a humanitarian crisis. Every day we see people sleeping on sidewalks or in tents facing freezing temperatures, illness, and isolation. At the same time, the city is in the middle of a deadly opioid epidemic. These two crises are not separate. They are deeply connected. The goal of this talk is to show that temporary shelters and fragmented services are not enough. We need comprehensive strategies that treat housing as a human right and provide support for mental health and addiction. Let's start with the root causes of homelessness. One major factor is the lack of affordable housing. Rent prices in Vancouver are among the highest in Canada, and there is a shortage of low income options. This forces people with limited income into unstable or unsafe conditions. Another big reason is poverty. Many people are just one emergency away from losing their home. And then there's a mental health issue and substance use. Without access to proper health care, many people cannot manage these challenges and they fall through the cracks of the system. Now let's talk about how the opioid crisis has made homelessness even more deadly. Vancouver has been hit hard by fentanyl and other toxic drugs. People without stable housing are at high risk of overdose, partly because they often use alone in unsafe environments. Substance use is also closely tied to trauma. For many, drugs are a way to cope with the pain, both physical and emotional. And the cycle continues. Without housing, it's harder to access treatment or stay clean. Without treatment, it's harder to stay housed. Uh, Clearly, our current strategies aren't working. Temporary shelters often offer. I'm sorry. Temporary shelters offer some relief, but they don't solve the problem. Many people end up back on the streets again and again. That's why we need to think long term. We need solutions that look at the full picture: housing, health, dignity, and support. It's not just about giving someone a bed for the night. It's about giving them a chance at stability and recovery. One approach that's been shown to work is the housing first model. This model doesn't require people to be sober or in a treatment before getting housing. Instead, it gives them a home first and then wraps support around them. Why is it important? Because housing gives people a sense of security, dignity, and control over their lives. In Manson and Fast 2024 study, they talk about how even youth living in unstable conditions try to make their space feel like home. That really shows how deeply humans need that sense of belonging and stability. Housing first respects that need and builds from it. Uh, there are clearly benefits to this approach. People in stable housing are more likely to enter treatment, take their medication, and keep medical appointments. They're also less likely to use emergency services or end up in a hospital or jail, which saves money in the long run. And most importantly, it gives people hope. Once they have a roof over their head, they can start rebuilding their lives. But housing alone is not enough. The opioid crisis shows us that people need mental health care, addiction treatment, and trauma support alongside housing. Uh, in Jones and other colleagues' articles in 2020 study, they found that people dealing with both substance use and psychosis were at extremely high risk of death when left unsupported. This shows why we need integrated services. Uh, and where a person can access housing, medical care, and counseling all through one system. It's not about surviving, it's about recovering. Uh, Unfortunately, our current policies often miss the mark. Too often, government responses are reactive. They focus on clearing encampments or increasing police presence instead of addressing the cause of homelessness. Flynn's 2022 case study highlights how eviction from places like Crab Park not only fail to solve the problem but often violate basic human rights. We need policies that are proactive and compassionate, ones that protect people's dignity and invest in real long term change. Uh, that means more funding for supportive housing, harm reduction, and a wraparound care. Um, at the heart of all, this is a question of human rights. People experiencing homelessness are often marginalized, criminalized, and pushed out of public spaces. But housing is a basic human need, and denying it means denying someone's right to live with safety and dignity. We have to change how we see homelessness, not as a personal failure, but as a systemic issue tied to inequality, trauma, and social exclusions. Uh, when we address these root causes, we don't just help individuals; we build a more just and compassionate society. Um, to sum it up, homelessness and the opioid crisis in Vancouver are closely connected. They need joint solutions. The housing first model, along with integrated mental health and addiction services, offer a strong research backed path forward. But to make this work, we need political will, proper funding, and a commitment to human rights. If we can change our system to reflect these values, we can not only reduce homelessness, we can give people their lives back. Thank you so much for watching.